She can't see a lot on them. I'm trying to set it straight. I have a film that is out right now at the same time that another one of my films is out.
Bruce Willis is an American actor, producer, and musician. He achieved fame with a leading role in the comedy drama series Moonlighting and appeared in over 100 films, gaining widespread recognition as an action hero. Willis has received various accolades throughout his career, including a Golden Globe Award, 2 Primetime Emmy Awards, and 2 People's Choice Awards. He received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 2006. In 2011, inducted into the New Jersey Hall of Fame. In 2006, he was honored by the French government for his contributions to the film industry and appointed an officer of the French Order of Arts and Letters in a ceremony in Paris.
Couldn't have been in any documentary, but I couldn't say no to her. And it beat the German Grammys in the ratings.
If you enjoy these videos, please remember to hit the like button, as it does help us out a lot. And comment below who your favorite celebrity is that you'd love to see in an upcoming video. His full name is Walter Bruce Willis, but is also known as Bruno. He was born March 19, 1955 in Idar Oberstein, West Germany, making him 67 at the time of this production. He stands at 1.83 meters or 6 feet tall. His favorite colors include tractor red and bright green. His favorite sport is hockey. He loves Italian food. Willis's acting role models are Gary Cooper, Robert De Niro, Steve McQueen, and John Wayne. He's a huge supporter of the NFL team, New York Jets. He's been very vocal in his support of almost every major Republican candidate in recent history except Bob Dole. He felt that presidential candidate Dole was out of line in his attacks on Demi Moore and her role in the movie Striptease. In May 1987, he was arrested after reportedly disturbing the peace and assaulting a police officer who was called to quiet a party at his home. The charges were dropped after Willis agreed to apologize to his neighbors. Willis was a Lutheran at some point, but no longer practices. He wears his watch upside down, a trend that can be noted in some of his films, too. In 2001, his younger brother, Robert Willis, died of pancreatic cancer at the age of 42. Willis married actress Demi Moore in 1987. They had 3 daughters, Rumor, Scout, and Tallulah Bell, before their divorce in 2000. Bruce and Demi have maintained a friendly relationship over the years. He attended her wedding to Ashton Kutcher, and she attended his wedding to Hemming. Willis was engaged to actress Brooke Burns until they broke up in 2004 after 10 months together. He married model Emma Hemming in Turks and Caicos on March 21, 2009. The ceremony was not legally binding, so the couple wed again in a civil ceremony in Beverly Hills 6 days later. The couple has 2 daughters, one born in 2012 and another born in 2014.
I really love how the end of this film came together, and it was really cool.
His mother Marlene was German, from Kassel. His father, David Willis, was an American soldier. Willis moved to Penns Grove, New Jersey as a child. After graduating from high school, Bruce worked a security job at a nuclear power plant. He then worked as a driver transporting workers at a DuPont factory. He briefly worked as a private investigator before deciding to devote himself to acting. Bruce studied drama at Montclair State University, but left in his junior year to pursue acting full-time in New York City. In New York, he mainly tended bar while going on auditions unsuccessfully, though he did work as an extra in the 1982 Paul Newman movie, The Verdict. In 1984, he made the move from New York to Los Angeles. Once in California, he began winning bit parts on TV shows like Miami Vice and The Twilight Zone. In 1985, Bruce auditioned and won the role of David Addison Jr. in what would become Moonlighting. The show turned Willis into an international star and earned him an Emmy for Outstanding Lead in a Drama Series and a Golden Globe. He was so popular that Seagram hired Willis to promote their Golden Wine Cooler in a series of advertisements. After being propelled to the A-list, Willis began landing film roles.
In 1988, he starred for the first time as John McClane in Die Hard. The role further cemented his status as a star, now of both television and films. In 1989, Bruce provided his voice acting skills for Look Who's Talking. He earned critical praise for his work in 1995's 12 Monkeys, and the audience praise for The Fifth Element in the same year. Other films include Sin City, Red Moonrise Kingdom, The Expendables 2, Looper, Unbreakable, Split, and Glass. In 2019, Bruce Willis starred in the last installment of M. Night Shyamalan's Unbreakable trilogy movie, Glass, alongside James McAvoy, Samuel L. Jackson, and Sarah Paulson. In March of 2022, Willis's family announced that he was retiring after being diagnosed with aphasia, a condition that affects language cognition.
Sam's most quiet performances, and he brings a grounded honesty and empathy to this incredibly flawed character.
During his career, Bruce has consistently been one of the highest-paid leading men in Hollywood. Between the late 1980s and the present, he's earned hundreds of millions of dollars in film salaries alone. His earnings from 1999's The Sixth Sense totaled $114 million, thanks to a generous cut of the film's gross. His upfront salary was $14 million. That's the second most money ever earned by one actor from a movie. Although technically the number one record, $156 million, was earned by Keanu Reeves over 2 Matrix movies. So one could say that Bruce's Sixth Sense payday is the largest in Hollywood history. In 2000, Willis and his business partner, Arnold Rifkin, started a motion picture production company called Cheyenne Enterprises. He left the company to be run solely by Rifkin in 2007, after Live Free or Die Hard. He also owns several small businesses in Haley, Idaho, including the Mint Bar and the Liberty Theater, and was one of the first promoters of Planet Hollywood with actors Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone. He has a net worth of $250 million. Willis owns houses in Los Angeles and Penns Grove, New Jersey. He also rents apartments at Trump Tower and in Riverside, South Manhattan. Over the decades, Bruce Willis has owned a number of extremely valuable properties around the globe. In 1990, Bruce and Demi Moore paid $7 million for a 7,000-square-foot penthouse in Central Park's San Remo building in New York City. Soon after, they purchased a 2-bedroom additional apartment in the same building. Demi received this apartment in their divorce. In 2015, she put it on the market for a mind-numbing $75 million. She sold the property in 2017 for $45 million. In 2014, he sold his former Beverly Hills mansion for $16.5 million. In April 2018, he sold a New York City penthouse for $18 million. In March 2019, he listed a sprawling estate in Turks and Caicos for $33 million. The 7.4-acre property features a 13,500-square-foot private compound with several guest houses, a yoga studio, kids' play structure, beach volleyball, and 4 pools. He owns the following vehicles: a 1968 Dodge Charger, a 1968 Shelby GT500, a 1968 Pontiac Firebird 400, a 1957 Chevrolet Corvette, a 1954 Chevrolet 3100, a 1967 Chevrolet Corvette Stingray, a 1988 Lincoln Limousine, a 1955 Chevrolet Bel Air Nomad, a Land Rover Range Rover, a Cadillac Escalade, a 2013 Bentley Continental GT Speed Le Mans Edition.